Ancillary services in ERCOT are a huge part of the revenue stack for battery energy storage systems. But what happens when these services are deployed? For most ancillary services, the amount of capacity that a resource operator or a qualified scheduling entity is expected to deploy is based on the proportion of total responsibility for that service that they've been awarded. And deployment falls into two categories: generation increase or decrease, and release of capacity to the economic dispatch. In the first bucket, we have regulation up and down. As frequency moves above or below 60 Hz, ERCOT deploys each of these services. Imagine that ERCOT has procured 250 megawatts of regulation up for a given operating hour, and you've been awarded 50 megawatts or 20% of that. If ERCOT is currently deploying 200 megawatts of regulation up, you'll be expected to provide 20% or 40 megawatts of that total. This means the operator is simply expected to increase the output of their resources with regulation up responsibility by 40 megawatts. In the second category, release of capacity, we have ERCOT, responsive reserve, and non-spinning reserve. When these services are deployed, the operator's resources have to make some or all of their reserved capacity available for the economic dispatch. It's important to note that when capacity is released, resources do not immediately increase their actual output. For example, say ERCOT procures 2,000 megawatts of ERCOT, and you've been awarded 200 megawatts, or 10% of that. If ERCOT deploys 1,000 megawatts of ERCOT, then you're expected to provide 10% or 100 megawatts of that. Let's say you've placed all 200 megawatts of that ERCOT responsibility on one 250 megawatt battery. When you receive your deployment instruction, you adjust the battery's telemetry to show that 100 megawatts of its ERCOT responsibility has now been released to the economic dispatch, or SCED. At this point, SCED treats the 100 megawatts of released capacity as regular energy in the offer stack. This means that your battery is still dispatched according to its energy offer curve. As a result, SCED may not even use your released capacity if it can meet the grid's demand via cheaper resources. While the mechanics of when deployment happens are different for RRS, ERCOT, and non-spin, this release of capacity is consistent across all of them. To find out more about how ancillary services work in ERCOT, read the rest of the article now and check out our explainer on when ERCOT deploys ancillary services. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.